Big medical update today. Got good news from my biopsy and my hip surgery. And I want to tell you what's coming up next. Well, let's get into it. So, I had to go for a bladder biopsy. Why? I had gross hematuria. Basically, what that is, it's an excess loss of blood. And that was from my urination. So, one day I'm out in the backyard working on my patio, and I had to go to the bathroom and come in. When I go, nothing but blood. Scared the hell out of me. And instead of going to the hospital right away, like I tell everybody, nope. I went ahead and went back and just didn't say a word. So it was a couple hours later, I went back, same thing. So I told my wife, and after she was finished getting mad at me for not telling her, we went to the hospital. So I got into the emergency room, and the doctors checked me out. I gave them a urine sample. So what they figured, it was two things at this point. It was either I have an infection or I have radiation cystosis. And what radiation cystosis is, it's basically from the radiation that you get on trying to kill cancer cells. Now, since my prostate was the issue and they took that out, they thought maybe there were still some cancer cells there since my PSA was going up. So I got my dose of radiation. Nothing bothered me at all after that until just now. So they said, go see your urologist. He'll be able to really get into it and help you out. I said, okay. I said, I'm having hip surgery on the 16th of September. I'd like to get in before that. So we'll take care of it. So I went and got in a couple days later, went in to see my urologist. So we sat down. I told him everything that was happening there. So he figured it was that, but what he wanted to do, he wanted to do a cystoscopy. Basically, what that is a colonoscopy, but up the front side. So they have a really long tube, a camera, and they go in, they go all the way up your urethra, up until your bladder. And he goes ahead and he looks around. Now, for me, on my bladder, I had a red spot here, and I mean big. Now, again, your bladder's small, so I'm just being oversized on it, but big one here. I had another big one over here, and then I had other little blotches around. So he said from what he could see, he figured there wasn't cancer there. But just to make sure with the condition that I have, that we go in there and do a biopsy. Said, Doc, I'm all in. I'm not taking a chance with anything. Never should have did what I did before. Well, let's go do it. So he got me in. I went in the day before my hip surgery. So I'm thinking like, hey, I'm going to become a member over at the hospital the way they're getting me. So went in, he did his biopsy. He said it'd take about 5 to 7 days to go ahead and get the samples out, get them to the lab where they're going, have them look at it, and then finally get the information back to us. I said, okay. So my wife and I are sitting there for 7 days, and that whole time, the only thing that was going through my mind was bladder cancer. Now, he says he didn't think there was there, but not in my shoes. I mean, everything that I've gone through, I'm thinking bladder cancer. Well, 7 days went by, got it back. I have an app called My Chart where you can communicate, you can see all your test results and everything. So when mine came back, I went to it right away. And it basically, from what I could read of, it was negative. So I wanted to make sure. I sent a message off to my doctor. He got back to me later that afternoon. He says, yep, we read the whole thing. No cancer at all. He says, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. If you have another episode, let me know. We'll work on that. I said, fantastic. Ooh, couldn't have been happier. So now I can concentrate on my hip surgery, my rehab after that. So with my hip surgery, got in that next day, went through the whole thing. The problem was I couldn't get out the same day. Now that's what they want to do with people with hip surgery. You go in, replace your hip, you're out. Unfortunately, I got backed up from other patients ahead of me. I couldn't go to PT to get cleared by them, so I had to stay overnight, which was fine by me. I didn't care that much. It was better safe than sorry. The next day I went through my PT and all. They said I was doing great, cleared me, went home. So prior to this hip surgery, I did all my exercises they were supposed to do. They really emphasized doing that. They would accelerate on the post-surgery side to help you with recovery. So I had to do um, uh, 6 different exercises. So the first one I had to do was one called heel slides, where basically you're just laying down, you put a strap over your foot, you pull your heel up to you, and you let your heel go back down again, and that's going to work your whole leg, but especially your hip area to strengthen that back up again. The next one was glute sets, where you're laying down and you're basically squeezing your butt cheeks together and pushing your knees down again to firm that area, because it's a long cut that they put on that side to get in there and remove your hip. They had quad sets, which are basically sitting up and you're pushing down with your quads and rolling your ankles back. And that's going to help you on the post side, because they want you to do that, because by rolling your ankles back, it's forcing the swelling from the blood and the fluid that's in there. It's forcing it back up again, because my foot was like a balloon. So did that. We did long arcs, quads, where you're sitting in a chair, raise your leg, bringing it back down again. Did calf raises, and that was basically just to strengthen the whole leg. I had to do 30 reps 3 times a day. And I did that for the 4 weeks. I wanted to stay on top of it. So my next was to do basically not too much between the operation and my follow-up on October 1st. I go to the office, I meet with the PA, he's asking me how I'm doing and stuff. He says, good. He goes, okay, let the nurse come in. We're going to look at the incision. She's going to take your staples out, and then we'll finish up. I said, okay. She came in, removed the bandage, look at the incision. She says, it's all great. And she goes, we'll take out your 25 staples. I went, huh? 25? I'm thinking like, oh my God. But it wasn't bad. They were very small staples. So, she took them out, just a little pinch. That's all it was. And next thing I know, 25 were out. So that was great. So he came back in, he checked my leg out, checked my foot out. He says, oh, your swelling's going down. He says, you're probably going to still see that for another few weeks. He goes, keep moving. That's going to help your circulation, get it going. But other than that, you're doing good. So I had to ask him the $1,000,000 question. When can I drive? He goes, right now, he says, you're not taking any narcotics, because they did give me oxycodone, but I didn't take any. So he says, you're not doing that. You seem to be getting around pretty good. I said, yeah. He said, I was on a walker for about 8 days, but I felt good. So I started with the cane. Fantastic. He says, when you think you got your stability, he says, you can go ahead and ditch the cane. So, okay, I'm going to keep that for a little while. But he says, as far as driving, if you feel comfortable, and not much pain, he says, you can start driving whenever you want. I thought it was going to be at least 4 weeks before they said, go ahead and do it. But I went out today and drove, and it was great. No issues at all. So just have to keep doing what I'm doing. And I started my PT yesterday. They gave me some exercises to do. So I got about a half a dozen. I'll do that. I'll show those in the next video, exactly what they want me to do. It's taken down a lot less than my prehab, which understandable. You don't want to damage or tear or do anything like that where you are. They just want you to slowly bring it back again, because like I said, they did some major cutting in there. So we're doing that. I go back next Wednesday and Thursday, and I'll probably be twice a week after that. Just to go ahead, and they'll do it, and they'll slowly ramp me up. When they think I'm ready, they'll slowly put some weights on there too, to really strengthen my leg back up. So I'm really looking forward to really getting on with this and trying to get back to as normal as possible over the long haul. Because basically saying it takes a good year to get it all done, but better than the pain I was going through. So we'll keep that series going on the hip, let you know how I'm progressing, what pitfalls I might be having. Hopefully none, but if there is, I'll let you know about it. So the other thing I want to talk about is my series that I like to do starting once I'm really into the hip recovery, and that's on insurance. It's that time of year. It's October. They have open enrollment. So I want to talk about Medicare, Medigap, um, and Medicare Advantage, how it all works out. In fact, on the Part B Medicare, I know it's that time, so I went ahead and started looking already. Part B is $185 a month now. It's already jacked up to 205 or 203, somewhere around, but it's over 200 bucks. That's a heck of a jump. So that's why I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row. I got a spreadsheet built on that to line everything up, find out who's what, who's charging what, where I should go. Looking at all the different plans on the Medigap side. For me, I don't do the Advantage plan because it just in my situation, it just would be unaffordable. But my wife, on the other hand, she's healthy, so we have her on that. So the no premiums and everything there. So I just want to bring that all out and share that with you. And then, if there's any issues with it, like if you had something you got to go through appeals or you get denied for something, I went that with my wife so I could share what that was like. And then the grants and co-pays that are out there that can help you. For me, I have the Patient Advocate Network who picks up my copay on my chemo pills. I have the Health Well Foundation who is picking up my Part B Medicare insurance. So thank God for these organizations that help you with that. Um, and as I start that series off, I'll get into the detail. I'll put the links below. So if you need help, you can go ahead and log in there on that too. Put your application in, and I hope that they can help you too, like they've helped me. So that's kind of where we are right now. That's where I want to go with this. The only other thing I'd like to talk is just the whole YouTube thing. I know the first couple of videos are really rough. I looked at it and went, oh my God. But it's only going to take, I'm just going to have to keep doing it and going out, just making the videos. So I hope you give me a chance. I'm trying to learn to get my presentation skills back up because it's been a while since I stood up and gave presentations. I'm just trying to get back in front of the camera again. I'm trying to learn the whole editing routine, the B-roll to put in there to show you what's going on, the other graphics to go up for explanations and all. I really want to make this a strong channel so we can go ahead and share the information and really help each other out in this. So I'm just asking for your help on that and your patience. So drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, hit that button. If you want more, hit the subscribe. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Keep pedaling.